Here are the top stories for today, July 25th, 2019. Senator Bongo calls on lawmakers to support the reinstatement of death penalty. The Duterte cabinet gets a record high satisfaction rating according to the latest social weather station survey. The AFP highlights its cooperation with Indonesia to identify the people involved in the bombing in Holo Church. And health experts say children under 2 years of age should not be exposed to electronic gadgets. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Senator Bongo on Wednesday urged his fellow lawmakers to support the passage of the death penalty bill for plunder and heinous crimes related to illegal drugs. Go said the death penalty bill would require long deliberation, especially since only a number of senators have publicly expressed support for the death penalty bill. He said Senate President Vicente Soto III is among those who have expressed support for the reinstatement of capital punishment. Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa has also filed a death penalty bill for drugs. Senator Bong Revilla, who earlier faced plunder charges in relation to the multi-billion pork barrel scam, has also expressed support for the death penalty bill for plunder.
Kung wala naman silang ninanakaw at gusto niyong tulungan kami ni Pangulong Duterte sa kampanya laban sa korupsyon, suportahan po natin itong death penalty on plunder. Kung wala kayong ninanakaw, huwag kayong matakot. Ang importante naman dito is paano natin sugpuin ang korupsyon sa gobyerno, kriminalidad at illegal na
So, wala pang method, sir, kayo nang pinopropose?
Any. Ako na lethal injection or yung electric chair.
Malacanang on Wednesday defended the Office of the Solicitor General from criticism for helping the Philippine National Police prepare the sworn statement of Peter Jomel Advincula or Bicoy. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo explained that the PNP merely consulted the OSG in preparing the sworn statement in the complaint filed against opposition members. He reiterated that the Solgen is the lawyer of the country and his clients are all offices and agencies of the government. The OSG earlier clarified that its client is the PNP and not Advincula, whose legal counsel is lawyer Larry Gadon. Vice President Leni Robredo and 34 others are now facing charges for their alleged involvement in the Ang Totoong narco list videos, which tagged President Duterte's family and allies in the illegal drug trade. Advincula bared that these videos were produced by members of the opposition to discredit administration candidates and back opposition senatorial bets in the May 13 midterm elections. Finance Undersecretary Carl Kendrick Chua said the tobacco tax hike bill, which was earlier certified by the President as urgent, is expected to be signed this week. The tobacco tax hike bill, which was passed by the 17th Congress, increases the rates of the tobacco excise from 35 pesos to 45 pesos per pack and up to 60 pesos in 2023 and added a tax on heated tobacco products and e-cigarettes. Under the enrolled bill, 50% of all collection from tobacco, heated cigarettes, e-cigarettes, sweetened beverages, and alcohol will go to support the Universal Health Care Bill.
It is an enrolled bill that was transmitted last June 27 to Malacanang. And that means it lapsed into law July 27. And my understanding is it is ready for signature by the President.
Malacanang said it is pleased with the latest results of SWS survey showing a record high net satisfaction rating on its cabinet. According to presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo, the result is remarkable as it is the first time that a cabinet received a very good rating. The latest social weather station survey released on Monday showed that the cabinet's net satisfaction rating rose from good to very good, up from the previous record of plus 44 in March 2019 to a new record high plus 51 in June 2019. On the other hand, the survey also showed that Vice President Leni Robredo's net satisfaction rating fell from good to moderate, down by 14 points from plus 42 in March 2019 to plus 28 in June of this year.
We're pleased to note that the rating, for the first time, the cabinet improved by from what? From good to very good. That should propel us, or members of the cabinet, to be inspired to work harder and help the president achieve his goal of uplifting the status of the Filipino people, give them comfortable lives, give them peace and security.
And in other news, the Civil Service Commission is one with President Rodrigo Duterte in delivering better government service through its contract Center ng Bayan hotline. The Land Transportation Office topped the list with 307 complaints, Social Security System with 144 complaints, and the BIR with 107 complaints. Meanwhile, several agencies dealing with overseas Filipino workers may soon be placed under the proposed Department of OFWs. The agencies being eyed for transfer are the POEA, OWA, and the DOLE's International Labor Affairs Bureau. The Bureau of Immigration warns the public against fixers and escorts. This after an alleged fixer identified as Brigeda Quijano allegedly received 150,000 pesos for facilitating the release of a German national. She is now under the custody of the Philippine National Police, or PNP. And a motorcycle hailing app, ANGKAS, and other riding groups are mulling the filing of an injunction against the ban on sub-400cc motorcycles on South Luzon Expressway and the Skyway. Ariel Indon, lawyer for commuter safety and protection, said they are also planning to file a civil suit against Skyway, O&M Corporation, and some of its executives for abuse of discretion. Still to come, the AFP highlights its cooperation with Indonesia to identify the couple involved in the bombing in Holo Church. The PNP Region 10 supports a proposal to extend martial law in Mindanao. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Poverty incidence fell from 27.6% in the first half of 2015 to 21% in the first half of 2018. The most important number, though, is the 6 million Filipinos we need to pull out from poverty. Kindly help me on this. And you know, as I said, corruption is everywhere. You are free to investigate. I don't take offense. If there is anything wrong in my department, the executive, you are free to open the investigation anytime. You do not have to call me. Call the idiots, expose them, and send them to jail. You are helping. Do not be, I am not, I've been a prosecutor. I know how it works. Feel free. Feel free to expose anything that is not in accordance with law. We have pursued tax reforms to fund our poverty reduction programs. I therefore implore Congress to immediately pass Package 2 of the Comprehensive Tax Reform Program, or the Trabajo Bill, which shall gradually lower the income, corporate income tax and rationalize and improve fiscal incentives. It will energize our MSMEs and encourage them to expand their business and hopefully generate.
The Presidential Communications Operations Office.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines confirmed that the twin bombing in Holosulu was carried out by an Indonesian couple. The suspects were identified as Ruli Rian Zeke and his wife Ulfa Handani Saleh. AFP spokesperson Edgar Arevalo said the AFP shared notes and provided vital information with the Indonesian police and were able to confirm the identities of the couple behind the attack. Arevalo said this development highlights the importance of cooperation and information sharing between and among countries in the region, particularly Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and the Philippines. Meanwhile, the Armed Forces of the Philippines said it will look at other parameters from where it will draw its recommendations regarding martial law extension in Mindanao. AFP spokesperson Edgar Arevalo cited the prevailing security situation on the ground, the approval of important amendments, and the assessment of local chief executives. Arevalo said the AFP will afterwards come up with its own recommendation to President Duterte through the Secretary of National Defense as to whether or not martial law in Mindanao can be lifted. The Police Regional Office in Region 10 or Northern Mindanao expressed its support on the possibility of martial law extension for another year. They say it is necessary to maintain peace and order in the region. According to PRO10 spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Mardi Hortillosa, Northern Mindanao was not recorded any martial law-related abuses, and there is no reason why the planned extension would not be supported. The proposal came from National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon Jr., saying this will sustain rebellion in the region. However, some militant groups, including the Union of People's Lawyers in Mindanao, Karapatan, and National Confederation of Transport Unions, have expressed their opposition to Esperon's recommendation, citing alleged human rights abuses and red tagging, but without showing evidence or instances. On the other hand, Iglesia Filipina Independiente Bishop Felix Berto Calang said they are calling on the government to end martial law in Mindanao to restore civil governance. Meanwhile, in the provinces, military and police operatives arrested Isnaji Hasim, an alleged bomber of the Abu Sayyaf group, in a law enforcement operation in Zamboanga, Sibugay. Hasim is reportedly a close associate of Hashim Saripa, one of the bombers of the Lamitan bombing incident last July 31st, 2018. He was also involved in the bombing of Zamboanga City bus terminal on January 23, 2015 that killed 2 and wounded 52. In General Santos City, authorities arrested 2 alleged female sympathizers of the Islamic State. They were identified as Bai Nor Aziz Buday and Joyce Ann Fornal, said to be connected with the Dawla Islamia Turaife group, which is based in Maguindanao province. Its leader, Ismael Abdul Malik alias Abu Taraife, was among the individuals charged over twin bomb attacks last year in Usulan Town, Sultan Kudarat. In Polomolok, South Cotabato, an alleged leader of an ISIS-inspired group identified as Jeffrey Nilong eluded arrest on Tuesday. Police Chief Lieutenant Colonel Samuel Kadungon said the suspect managed to escape as the operatives were approaching the site. Nilong is a remnant and self-proclaimed leader of local terror group Ansar al-Khalifa, Philippines. He was charged in September 16, 2018 bombing in front of a lying-in clinic that left 8 people wounded. Meanwhile, 2 more CPP-NPA leaders were arrested in Quezon City after they blocked the warrant serving of authorities against Rolando Caballero alias Jet. During the said operation, the couple interfered, assaulted, and physically prevented the police officers from arresting Caballero, who is wanted for murder. It was found out that the couple had previous cases of violation of pertaining to explosive devices and were arrested along with other CPP-NPA members. The Philippines gun industry may be a small player in the international firearms, but unknown to many, the local gun industry is considered the best in the world as it ranked in top 5 of the best gun makers worldwide. And did you know that the Philippines ranks second among the ASEAN countries in terms of the actual number of privately owned guns? Miguel Hill sat down with one of the players in the local gun industry. Let's find out more about this in Business Matters.
Welcome to Business Matters. I'm your host, Miguel Hill. Today we have with us Attorney Hector Rodriguez, President and Chief Executive Officer of Metro Arms Corporation. And we'll talk about what's up in the country's weapons manufacturing scene and how our arms industry is keeping up with the rest of the world. Welcome to Business Matters.
Thank you for inviting me to your show.
Why is it in the Philippines that the local defense industry, considering our obvious need for internal and external defense, why hasn't it grown with as much momentum as in other countries?
Well, in the first place, firearms manufacturing requires a lot of engineering technology. It's engineering heavy, so
It's tech heavy.
yes. And secondly, we need if we want to grow, we need more government support for the defense industry. So that we require our law enforcement, we provide our law enforcement agencies with firearms and weapons, military. The government has to take a look at establishing a local defense industry. If you are a manufacturer and a regular one, the only way you can supply to the government is through our bidding process. And that is not the ideal situation for a manufacturer.
Okay.
Because,
So what are you asking for?
well, the government should take a second look, a serious look at the self-reliance defense program under, if I believe, I think it is under Presidential Decree 915, wherein it's some sort of a contract between a local group and the government, ensuring that all the produce or the production will be supplied to the government.
Do you think that we are maximizing the potential and instead importing?
I think if you remember, in the early 70s when the government implemented the self-reliance development program, the government then entered into a joint venture with the coal industries and manufactured M16 rifles for the military.
What would be known as the ELISCO.
ELISCO, yes.
Which is still, to some extent, existing. I
The-
mean,
the-
not the company, but their end product.
Yes. And we had a lot of highly technical Filipinos working with the American engineers of Colt, and who have acquired the discipline in manufacturing these arms. And sadly, sometime in 1994, that company was shut down. So we lost the technology. These engineers who were working there aged, and we did not pass it on to the generations when we could have
Held on to the
yes,
industry.
and develop further the technology.
You're exporting.
Yes, yeah.
The foreign market is mostly.
Yes.
Okay. What does it take to cultivate the local market here?
Well, first of all, if we talk about the civilian population, we have to rationalize the law on licensing, make it easier for our citizenry to secure a firearms license or firearms registration. We are competing in the export market, and our quality, the Philippine-made guns, are accepted abroad. So why not use it here? It just changes sometimes in materials and design, but the basic
The
operation,
external design, you mean?
Yes.
But the way it really works
it's
is
the same.
it's little changed
Yes.
through the decades. How far are we from being that aggressive in as far as the quantitative part of it?
Well, as far as the small arms, the pistols are concerned, we have, I think, the good technology for that. As far as the rifle, the M16 platforms or M4s are concerned, as I said earlier, I think we lost the edge, the technology there, where our engineers then, who really know what an M16 or an M4 rifle should be, just simply were not able to pass it on to the next generation.
Of engineers. What are the developments that you would want to see within the next 3 years, to maybe a little bit beyond that?
Well, as far as the industry is concerned, the manufacturing industry is concerned, we just hope that one day the government should, I know that it's giving us support. I'm not saying that they are not. In terms of providing, supporting us for growth, I think the one way is for the government to probably use more local firearms for their needs. Now, as far as the licensing or the civilians or population is concerned, the government could do more by simplifying the procedure for our citizenry to be able to secure a firearms license and own a gun for their protection, for their home protection and personal protection. We are trying to provide the citizenry with the good quality firearms, but affordable in prices. So that way we could probably, in a way, help in a very small way, probably maintain peace and order and protect the civilian markets.
Thank you very much, Attorney Hector Rodriguez, President and CEO of Metro Arms Corporation. Join us again next time as we talk about the latest in the world of business here on Business Matters. I'm your host, Miguel Hill. See you next time.
Up next, the DOH extends health services to displaced residents of Marawi City. Health experts say children under 2 years of age should not be exposed to electronic gadgets. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Kababayan, ang peking balita at huwad na katotohanan ang nagpapagulo sa ating lipunan. Kaya naman po, ako'y naririto upang kayo'y paalalahanan na ang fake news dapat nilalabanan at inaaksyonan. Sapagkat ang binaluktot na salita at gawa-gawang kwento ang siyang nagdudulot ng maling haka-haka, opinyon at desisyon sa ating mga mamamayan. Kaya mga tol, tayo'y umaksyon. Alamin ang totoo mula mismo sa pinanggagalingan ng balita, ang ating pamahalaan. Sa tulong ng Executive Action Magazine ng Bureau of Communication Services, tayo'y magkakaroon ng kaalaman sa mga ginagawa ng ehekutibo at ng ating Pangulo para sa ating bayan. Totoong mga naganap sa pamahalaan, totoong mga proyekto, totoong mga benepisyo para sa tao, totoong mga opinyon mula sa opisyal ng ehekutibo, totoong mga nangyayari sa bansa. Yan ang Executive Action Magazine. Mga binibini at ginoo, labanan ng fake news. Aksyon agad. Magbasa ng Executive Action.
The Department of Health is extending its services to the displaced residents of Marawi City through its Satellite Operations Center. The DOH is profiling the residents of 96 barangays who are in need of health care. More on this from Sweet Lukman.
In order to effectively deliver health services to the internally displaced persons of Marawi City, the Department of Health Region 10 Satellite Operations Center has transferred its Iligan Operations Centers to Amaypakpak Medical Center to cater to the 96 barangays affected by the 5-month conflict 2 years ago. Dr. Stephanie Grace Zamora, head of DOH 10 OPSEN, assured the residents of continuous quad cluster approach activities aimed at making the health services readily available to all IDPs at Amaypakpak Medical Center. DOH is currently doing a health profiling to the IDPs sheltered in transitory sites within the war-torn city and providing health services to the residents of the remaining evacuation centers. While the profiling is going on, the DOH is simultaneously conducting medical consultation, providing medicines, extending prenatal and postpartum care, giving nutritional supplements and free immunizations, as well as play and dance therapy to the young evacuees. With the onset of the rainy season in Marawi City, the DOH is also readying the IDPs against waterborne diseases by providing them a regular water, sanitation, and hygiene orientations. Zamora also mentioned that the agency is still attending to psychosocial concerns of the IDPs by offering them stress debriefing interventions.
DOH 10 po, yung operations po started 2017 ever since the start of the siege. Until now, continue pa rin po yung services namin. We are in coordination with City Health Office and then the Provincial Health Office also. We are still here and continue to deliver health services.
For PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
And in sports, Talk and Text banked on a strong second half to edge out Alaska and clinch the third seat in the PBA Commissioner's Cup semifinals. After blowing two twice-to-beat advantages in the quarterfinals before, the Katropa on Wednesday night surged late to assure that there will be no repeat of their previous collapses. Terrence Jones posted humongous stats of 37 points, 22 rebounds, 9 assists, and 1 block for TNT, which will face Ginebra in the best-of-5 semifinals. Simon and Ciso put up 24 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal for Alaska. Meanwhile, San Miguel completely shattered a quarterfinal disadvantage against Northport and booked a spot in the semifinals. The Beermen even endured losing Marshall Lassiter to a left knee injury in the second quarter. Chris McCullough finished with 31 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 blocks, and 3 steals for SMB, which will meet the winner of the duel between Rain or Shine and Blackwater. Health experts in Australia warn that children under 2 years of age should not be exposed to electronic devices such as mobile phones and tablets. In a study published by the Medical Journal of Australia, the University of Queensland found that some young children are spending around 50 minutes a day in front of screens. But according to guidelines laid out by the World Health Organization and many other international bodies, children with developing brains aged under 2 years old should have 0 screen time. Researchers found emerging evidence that early exposure to gadgets could be detrimental to children's development and growth. They said screen time represents a missed opportunity where children could be practicing and mastering a developmental skill like skipping and jumping over being sedentary and transfixed to a screen. They urge parents to limit screen time and give young children the best possible start in life. Expect more rains as the southwest monsoon affects parts of the country. The southwest monsoon will bring cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms, particularly to Mimaropa and Western Visayas. Meanwhile, let's check out the weather forecast in Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. Senator Bongo calls on lawmakers to support the reinstatement of death penalty. The Duterte cabinet gets a record high satisfaction rating according to the latest social weather station survey. The AFP highlights its cooperation with Indonesia to identify the people involved in the bombing in Jolo Church. And health experts say children under 2 years of age should not be exposed to electronic gadgets. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I am William Theo. Good day.